Alright, we're back. Kind of where we left off, which there would be no other place to be. But I think what we're going to do, or try to do today, because it's going to be even hotter today than it was yesterday. We're already at a heat index of 115, I just checked, and it's not even noon. I think my goal today is to try to get the fuel pump mounted somewhere under there and get my caps on this and the return. That's easy. And then get something cut out in here where I can put a line from the tank outlet, one of these, to the fuel pump and get the fuel pumps and filters mounted. I think that's my goal for today. Not very ambitious, but I was up late last night because we had a big nasty power sag at some point during the evening, and it caused the computer in the home air conditioner to barf, and I didn't notice that had screwed up until I was trying to go to bed, and that took an hour. So get it all reset. It's working fine, but just the computer lost its brain, needed the old electrician cycle power trick, and it worked. Just took me a little while to troubleshoot everything to make sure there wasn't any real problems before I did that. So I think that's what we're going to do today, is leave this thing mounted kind of as it is and try to get the fuel pump mounted. So first thing we're going to do, we're going to go get the box and get the fuel pump and the fuel filters out of it, see what else comes with it, and see if the directions note anything special, and then we're going to try to find a spot to put all that stuff. So here we go. Alright, I think before I do the fuel pump and all that other stuff, which is all here out of the kit, and I also, it comes with a little quick instruction manual, but there's about a 100-page instruction book you can download. Printed all that out. I think I'm going to get the get this unit bolted on just because it's so pretty. Yeah, and it's going to have to be there anyway because I'm going to need to know where all those lines are going to end. So I think we're going to pull the carburetor off and get that out of the way. See what we're going to do with that injector. That's all there is to it to get that out of there. Not too bad. I think I'm going to get rid of this spacer for now. And just go with the little gasket. Maybe we'll install a special spacer later. Alright, now we're going to clean that up and set the new one on. Alright, well, she's all spiffy. See what we got here. Nice gasket. It matters. Yep, it does matter. Get it right the first time. Guess I'll put the other studs in to hold that. Okay. Clunk. There she goes. Looks like the studs will work. Not that one. We're going to have to pull that off because I've got some interference with that stud in the back. I need a shorter one. But then again, if I put that spacer back in, that would fix it. I'll think for a minute. I really want to jack that up a little bit, just for clearance and ease of working on it. I don't want to use the spacer that came off because it's all kind of compressed into the shape of the bottom of that carburetor. And so it may not seal terribly well against that new thing. I'm going to go look online, see if any of my local parts stores might happen to have a square bore phenolic spacer or something like that that I could use to lift that thing up just a little bit. So I'm going to check that out. If I find one, I may go get it, and then we'll be back. Alright, we got the old 1-inch open spacer, which was in stock at the local parts store, although it was hard to get them to take my money because there was only 6 of them in there, and they were finding it troublesome to actually wait on anybody. But we got it. So now we're going to slip the throttle body back on it and see if that's any better. Yeah, I think that's better. That looks pretty good. Alright, that looks pretty good. Not bad at all. So, alright, that's some pretty good clearance in there too. Not terrible. So I think now we're just going to get the nuts put back on it, get her snug down, and then see what we can do with the fuel pump. Alright, well, pretty much everything's hooked up as much as I can up here. I'm going to have to do something with the PCV because there's nothing for that. Got the interior vacuum hose hooked up to a port on the back of the injection throttle body. That's manifold vacuum. There is a spot on the back for the power brake booster. I'm going to have to extend the hose, put a new hose on that because it's not quite long enough anymore. And got the line for the vacuum advance hooked up, got the throttle cable hooked up. I may redo that. But that's all going to probably change a little bit once the transmission comes in, because it's going to have a kick down and all sorts of other wacky stuff related to that that's going to have to get attached to the throttle blades of this. The air cleaner actually fits. I'm going to most likely get a much taller air cleaner. However, once the hood's down, if I can get a 6-inch tall element in there and then a top hat that will have an air cleaner element in it too. I've seen those just to open this thing up and let it breathe, because I think that little guy is kind of restrictive. I may have to get a less of a drop hat, because the base of the air cleaner drops about 1.5 inches. I may need a flatter hat than that just to clear the fuel lines once they get in place. But everything's looking pretty good up front, and it's warm, about 120 heat index right now. But yeah, got the temperature sensor for the water plugged in. The other wires don't have anywhere to go yet. Found the O2 sensor connection. It's sitting up there on top of the distributor. When I decide to put the O2 sensor in, I suppose I could do that, but I really need to start getting on the back of this thing and getting to work on the fuel pump. So I think I've procrastinated on that long enough, and that's what we're going to need to do right now. Alright, well, no plan survives first contact with the enemy. I had ordered ordered a kit with some bunch of random parts in it, these fittings, some fittings and stuff, and tried to estimate about what I was going to need, and I wasn't even close. So I just had to place an order for some more adapter fittings. This isn't that hard. The kit does come with everything you need if you're really just building a car you're going to drive on the street. If you're building something that you're going to race and needs to go through tech, they don't allow this stuff, I don't think. I mean, this is Earl's Vapor Guard, but it sure looks like rubber gas hose to me. And the NHRA tech doesn't allow you to have more than 12 inches of that stuff along the entire fuel feed system. And I'm going to probably end up with about 6 inches of it or more just hooking up the fuel filters back here. The other thing I'm doing that's overkill is I'm running everything I can in 8 AN or ½ inch rather than the 6 AN or 3/8 that this kit comes with. I'd rather have more fuel available than less. So I've got to get a couple of adapters to go from 8 AN female to a 6 AN or to a 3/8 barb to get to here, and then we'll go through this like it's designed, and then come out again with from the 6 AN, from the 3/8 bar back to the 8 AN. Then I can run my 8 AN hose to fitting I left inside, to my compression fitting, get it attached to my ½ inch hard pipe, and my stainless braid, which are allowed. So I'm doing more work just because it's going to have to be teched at some point, and I know that this will most likely certainly work, but it ain't going to pass what I want to do with it. So I needed some adapter fittings. The other thing I'm doing is it's got 6 AN fittings going in here. I'm getting 6 AN to 8 AN adapters, so we can come right off of that and run a ½ inch straight up to this. And then same thing with the return, where I won't have to run any 3/8 line at all. Again, it's 3/8 through the pump and the filters. So what am I gaining? I just don't care, and it's going to be ½ inch because that's what I want. I mean, it's going to be interesting trying to get it down there. Looking at it, the way this comes off, I may be able to sneak it down to the firewall, and in that direction, keep it away from the headers on both sides. That's probably going to work pretty well. Feed it in from the back. I was thinking I was going to feed it from the front, but I may not have to. So that's kind of cool. I think you can switch these over to here if you wanted to, I think. I'm not sure. Well, anyway. So that's where we are. I think right now what I'm going to do is I've drilled my little hole just so I have an idea where this is coming out. That's going to get a 90 on it, and then I'm going to go to 8 ½ inch hose, and then we're going to go to this, which is a shutoff valve. And the reason for that is so if I have to change a fuel pump on the road, I don't have to drain the tank. Not a very cheap little piece for what it is, little ½ inch ball valve. But that's my goal right now, is to get this thing mounted in some semblance of manner that it will, I can make up a little hose to get this up and hooked into the fitting that's going to come down through here. So that's what I'm going to be doing next. Yeah, little cutters work pretty good. That's kind of nice to have. And I think we're doing all right now. We have fitting on, and under here we have where this is going to go, basically like that. Pretty nice fuel run, not really a lot of stress in the line. And we'll have my little adapter fitting to get to that, which should be in this week. Get that connected up, put another adapter of the same size going off backwards here, and we can go to my 8N hard pipe fitting, and we'll start running the hard pipe coming out of here up to the front. So you just zip tied in right now. I'm going to figure out a way to maybe mount it a little better. This, I think, will be out of the way of the trailer hitch for the most part, because the trailer hitch is going to mount over here. And in case you got to do roadside surgery, pretty easy access. I already have spare filters I bought. I'm going to get a spare pump, and I'm going to have this whole assembly completely assembled just like this, so that it's just close the ball valve, pull two clamps, bang bang, plug, done. That you can change it in 10 minutes. That's my goal. Again, the half-inch line versus the 3/8 in the pumps and the filters is overkill, but I wanted overkill. You know, I'm never going to have to change that. I don't care probably what I do to that engine. Certainly beyond anything that I'm most likely going to want to pay for at this point. And if it gets to that point, half-inch fuel line is the least of my issues. So we got all the caps on, the valves closed, caps on this end, so I think that's enough for today. I got a bunch of crap I got to clean up and put in a box, and because I'm going to work tomorrow, and I hate leaving all this stuff out when nobody's home. So here we go. We're moving. Got the part of the fuel pump set up. Oh yeah. And it's flipping hot. There we go. This is my third hat today again, 3-hat day. I wear them till they saturate, and then the sweat starts dripping off of the brim of the hat instead of on my face. But I got to get one more plug for a vacuum hole back there on that baby, where the old Christmas tree used to be, because now I've got enough ports to put everything into the back of the throttle body. And then that's going to be good. And then we're going to have to start running some lines. This may be okay. This may be alright. I'm pretty happy with it. Alright. Anyway, hope you're all having a good day. We'll talk to you soon. Take care.